Hello and welcome. My name is Nilaus and this is another episode of Factorio Engineering. Here I'm doing a base review. This time it's a base review of my own base. So I recently completed a rather massive C block campaign. All of it has been streamed. It was at the extent of around pretty close to 500 hours. And the idea of this block is, as you can see, it's city block based. That means all of the things we are doing here is done in city blocks. I have in total, if what you're looking at here is 560 city blocks. Of those, I have this part here. Let's call it, I think that's about 250 of those are full of factories. The base is running right below the 60 FPS UPS. And that's kind of, I think that's pretty okay. The base is operational now, so sometimes things pop up as with lack of materials. I will walk through this base, give you an idea of how it works, and zoom in on we'll follow the process from the very start until the very end, basically so you can see how some examples of the different things. Since the base is pretty big, I will try to run around. First, I'll explain the train system because that's kind of essential. The train system is built around the whole setup of base is built around what I call a district, like this. It consists of 8 city blocks. These lanes in here were actually supposed to carry some materials on belts. It worked fine in the beginning, but it became silly once the base grew a bit more. But at that point I had put the pattern in place, so I had to keep it. In retrospect, I'd probably not have those, or I could make them into like big asphalt road if I felt so inclined. The point is, all my trains are everything is operated with logistics train network. So if you don't know that, I have made another Factorio engineering video about how that's set up. It is brilliant. It's awesome. It's a really cool way. It works really well with my city blocks concept because I can make a city block. Thank you, autosave. I can make a city block and then only manage inputs and outputs. And you can see here they go in and they go out immediately because the base is pretty active. The way it's done is each city block will always have and only have 2 stations. It will have one station with the inbound and one station with the outbound. I can see there's a bit of contamination in this one. That's something that happens because I didn't do it quite right all the time. So the idea is here, you can see, this one is, here I'm placing the request. This says request will only go out when it's more than 2,000. It will not provide, that's just a safety, until it's more than 1 million. That means do not ever provide from the station. It is request priority 1, so it is more than just average. I want to prioritize this, and here we have a train coming in. I want 12,000 copper ingots and 3,000 base mineral oil. That's what goes in here. You can see in this wire, I can see I'm still at minus 4,200. And here comes some more. You can see the number to the right hand side. Now it's minus 2.7. And here you have these. These are no station supplying gold ore, just like this, so it's kind of easier to see. There are some things that will be consumed faster than I can produce them, and sometimes this is how the system tells me what to start debugging and what to scale up. When it has a yellow icon, something is coming inbound. Here you can see the outbound station. I want 20,000 of each of the coils and, well, copper wire coils and copper coils, and this one is now going from copper coils out to advanced circuits in, because the advanced circuits needs copper wire coils, and then it goes there. We can always actually hit your right just to illustrate how the train system works. And there will be always some things that are not being used. The train network is kind of becoming the bottleneck of my base. You can see here it doesn't flow naturally for flowing all the way through, because the way I designed the train system wasn't actually scaled for the size. I did not consider it, and it also has some quirks about making U-turns. All of this was sort of designed ad hoc, and it does kind of show. So for example here, this one is stuck until it can go, it gets a clear line through, and then it can get in here. That means you can see how long time it's actually spent in transit to get in there. And the fact that there's only one unloading station means that it can only unload one train at a time. But all that being considered, because these trains are pretty big, then it works really well. And then it loads on here, and this is one of the more busy ones. This is scaled up to 2,000, 20,000, and we have some trains getting kind of stuck. That's what happens. Let's start looking at the process from the beginning. You can look at all of these beautiful things. Oh yeah, one thing I should mention is I will also make available a Google map for this part. So if you want to browse around the base yourself, you can do that with the mod, the Google Map mod. The whole base is powered with solar panels, as you can see up north. And let's just look at the power consumption here. The power is currently, you can see how little power is being used. I have plenty of solar panels, and I will recommend only using solar panels Mark 1 in an Angel's Bob series, because the increased value of productivity, I suppose, efficiency of the better solar panels is nothing compared to the amount of materials thrown in there. So don't do it. This is how the whole thing starts. This is where we get money for nothing. The only thing we take in is a bit of charcoal and some empty barrels. The whole network is based on barrels because I don't want to manage a combination of liquids and solids in one station. So let's walk through this city block, because this is kind of an advanced city block, it has turned out, but this is a building block, an essential building block of my base. I have several of these, I have more down here, and that's what really powers the base. So it starts with the washing process. The washing process creates a lot of geodes. The geodes go in here, get sorted out, gets put in here. Actually, what I need one more, because the purple one is not being consumed fast enough. There was a bit of miscalculation, so be it. This produces crushed stone and crushed stone and geodes. So what this one does is because over time I'll be using more dust than stone. So I take the excess stone. Whenever stone is larger than the dust, I'll shove it out here, and then it'll be converted into, this is the very basic process in C block, where it'll be converted into just a small part. It actually turns out to make a huge difference for the base overall by just having all of this instead of voiding it. I see some people voiding this, or just crushing this, or not doing anything with it. In this case, this is, in my opinion, much better. So all the rest of the crushed stone goes in here and makes a ton of this. This works fine, but then it goes over here, gets converted with some sulfuric acid into crystal slurry. The crystal slurry becomes mineral sludge, and the mineral sludge is the base material in C block that we need to use. You can see how fast it actually goes, and this is the speed by which I produce. Each barrel is 50 units. So this one working really efficiently. The fact is that if this process runs alone, it will lose sulfur over time, because this one produces some sulfuric waste. The sulfuric waste can be cleansed into sulfur, becomes sulfur dioxide, becomes sulfuric acid, and then feed back in. That process loses sulfur over time. However, because of this teeny tiny little thing, there's a bit of sulfur, hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide is absolutely amazing. It is. So this goes here, and that means it actually produces a very small surplus. You can see how slow this goes up, but it does go up. Yeah, come on, show it that it goes up. This one does go up. Over time, it goes up, right? It's almost stable, but it does go up once in a while. And therefore, I also take it out here. It's just incredibly slow to go up, but it does. So now we have mineral sludge. What we get from the mineral sludge is going into our Angel's mods building things. What are they called? They are called stereotite, sapphirite, duvalite, bobmonium, rubite. How was that? Critinium. Where are they? They're gone. Okay, they're kind of the same, and they're kind of down here. Hope you're just looking at all the stuff that goes around. Remember, this is 500 hours. So this is where I get my mineral sludge in. This is one of the primary plots to get started on the crafting. It goes in here, and then you can see some of these have not always been updated. These should of course be Mark 3 modules. It goes in here, produces in here. The crushed goes out because sometimes I need the crushed sapphirite or stereotite. It goes up here to this process, which produces as fast as it can more chunks. The chunks go down because sometimes I need chunks, and it also proceeds over here to be combined and become some crystals. Right now, what I need the most is crystals. You can see here. Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't crystals. So this is where I only have these small blocks. I thought I would need way more of this, but I have one city block for each of the 6 angels components, and it actually turns out to be sufficient. I didn't think so. I think the big part of it is the fact that there are so many processes where I can use this. Let's head down and get some advanced materials. Let's look at titanium, I suppose, because titanium is not, is a kind of a boring one. Gold, for example. Gold is spinning. It's not the most pretty one, but the idea is the same. There's also a bit of waste here. Somehow this got in here. I have no idea how. Well, I kind of do, but let's not get into that. Silly me. Yes, I'm using extremely long range. This is for the enjoyment of myself and anyone watching the stream. So basically what happens here is that this requests the 3 components plus some hybrid catalyst, goes in, gets converted into gold, and the gold ore comes out. Lovely. This is a great opportunity because we can then hitch a ride with this train that comes in here and then go on to the next step. So now this is basically the same for every single one of the Bob's ore. So gold is a Bob's ore, it goes out, and then the gold goes into, I would hope, it goes into the gold ingots location. Come on. Yes, thank you. Sometimes we're a bit lucky. Then we can follow this process because this is how it matures. You can see here, it is still, it's almost dead, but not quite. You can see, so it's still working here. So the process is actually, before this one dies out completely, see this one is still a full belt. And only now does it start become a not full belt. And then the next one is coming in as well. So this is now we're going to the Angels refining, where we have all of these are different. This is the refining I use for gold. The rather advanced one is actually a good example. And it goes in here and everything I aim for is blue belts. Let's get a blue belt in, blue belt out. Sometimes we need the ingots. It's very rare, but it's primarily for electrum, I believe. And then it goes in here to get more gold plates. Gold plates comes out. Gold plates is not something we need. Oh, look at that. There's actually a train coming in. Is that for barrels? No. Oh, this is... actually, I will not jump on this train. However, you can see the gold plates will come back to where the gold plates are needed. Different things here. Manganese. This is a waste product. This is also important. This is my science facility. And the reason why it is turned off is because I have made a switch because it uses a stupid amount of power. 2 gigawatts, I think. A bit more than 2.2 gigawatts, this little thing here. So I've switched it off whenever I don't have enough of all of these. I switch it off. And I'm not researching anything, so that's also a good idea. Let's look at the production of electronics, because that's a huge part of Angels. So here I have my electronics, the very basic parts. I get wood in, and you're like, wood in C block? Yes, indeed. I have a very beautiful wood production plant up here. This is very, very beautiful. I love it. I'm proud of it. It's awesome. It produces at least 2 lanes of raw wood. And come out to here, goes in. You can see here this is it could be more intense, but it is after all heavily beaconed. So it goes in and produces 2 full blue lanes out. That goes in here. Is there a train coming? There's a train coming, but that might be, it goes to electronic circuits. Oh, maybe might actually be lucky here that the train I need is actually going exactly where I want. Oh, yeah, it's gonna take forever. So this is provided 2,000, 20,000. I also have another one, which will then be an input for this location. I guess we are leaking iron ore somewhere. Oh yeah, I know why. That's a problem I fixed some time ago. But the problem with the LTN network is sometimes when you get into there's an error, then it kind of propagates through the system and leaves some junk in various locations. And now I just put it back into the correct location. So let's put you in here. Oop, there we go. Okay, so this one, you can see here how it's doing. It's actually, you know, there's a better one. This is okay, but the other one is awesome. So I'll take this one. This is even better because it actually switches off when it's not needed. And it is heavily beaconed. You know what? I'll actually just switch it on for the hell of it. There. Just to show what it works like. See, these are pretty much at ratio when they're fully beaconed or fully moduled. And this beacon can hit all of them because it's the highest one. So this one produces 4 full blue lanes out. That is a crazy amount. Oops. Oh crap. I think I wrecked it. You are not supposed to go here. You are supposed to only go... Yeah, that goes in here. I think it works now. Yeah, that one needs to be switched off. Cool. So this is providing it has 50,000. Let's continue on that process. It goes... I think I can remember it. Goes into this location. I think I also have a nicer one of those as well. Let's go for the nice one. The best one. Some of the products or some of the locations that I need a lot of, I built multiple also just to spread out the load on the train network by sort of making them in random areas. Not random, but in remote areas. This one, for example. So this is again taking all the components in and going into this teeny tiny little thing here. But it does produce 2 full blue belts out. And it is quite efficient in terms of space as well. So in the beginning you need to build really big, but in the end you can build it very, very small. It's not quite, but it's pretty close to 2 belts. And it's doing really awesome. So that's that one. Let's move on to the next tier up. That is the green circuits. The green circuits are over here. They are again not producing anything, consuming anything more exotic than this. You can see some of the things have been upgraded, some have not been upgraded. This is stuck because it has produced the 20,000. Now let's move on to the worst one. The worst one is absolutely the blue circuits. The advanced processing boards. They are absolutely horrible, but they are at least capped out now. The reason why they're so horrible is because they ain't the base. The C block mod has a mod called processing, circuit processing. Circuit processing changes the recipes for the circuits to be very difficult and actually using a lot of the previous thing. But this one actually changes to use chrome plates. Chrome plates is something, if I look at the way to do chrome plates in C block, it's absolutely horrible. Of course we get the chrome plates here, we get those eventually from the chrome ore, but there's only a single recipe that actually provides chrome ore, and that's from the ferrous crystal. Comes from the ferrous anode, comes from the ferrous something and crap, and that one, okay, this one is actually ferrous solution, is crafted by something, but it's an absolutely horrible process. Oh, look at that, it actually kicked off because there was a train coming in. Let us retrace that process because this is pretty much one of the worst ones in the C block series, so I think it's important for us to show just how complicated things get. Also, just look at all these things. You can see that it's all working because of the logistics train network. It takes care of everything for us, and it highlights when there is a problem that I need to deal with. I'm pretty sure it's over here. Oop. The reason why I'm not afraid of trains is because I have a Mark 6 energy shield, which can take a nice bump from... Okay, so this part here is taking a lot of things in. You can see how many things it takes in. All of this takes in here. And that the output is the ferrous ore dust and an awful lot of... Yeah, okay. Of barrels, yes. I'll also need to go through the barrel management because that's a question I get a million times. So over here, I take, again, a lot of things. Oh, look at the timing of this. Impeccable timing. Here we got the ferrous ore dust going in. It goes out, goes up here, becomes the ferrous ore solution. The solution becomes something. I'm the essence, ferrous essence. The essence becomes anodes, and the anodes can then become crystals. And the crystals, they're absolutely beautiful color, goes in here, and I now have 30,000 of them. Awesome. That goes into the next tier. Oh, look at the timing. This is impeccable timing. I love it. I love it. It goes in here. And the ferrous crystal, very advanced product, goes in, bloop, 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 goes in. I have marked up all the productivity modules, and that gives us, if we look at this, all right, let's look at this. Can I check this one up? Here. So this is 4111. So it's 8 in and 1 out. So it's 1/8. Hence, it's very important to get all the productivity you can. That goes in here. This is kind of becoming a problem because I can't use the cobalt for anything. Not in the quantities I'm producing it. But you can see here, this is now getting into this location. And goes in. This is marked as a high priority because I want this one to be emptied first. So it takes the cobalt and the nickel and the iron from here first. Now this one is slowly inching its way up to build the ore. Okay, then it's a bit strange, but okay, hold on. I'll just I'm not gonna say cheat, but I am gonna cheat. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oops, that was something I shouldn't tag. That one. How much do we have? I just take note the cobalt. There. Hold on. Also got some other crap here. Great. Now I have something because then I'll just jam it in here so we can see what's going on. This process is now, I think it's one of the more advanced process, if not the most advanced process, to go from ore to ingots of chrome. So it does a lot of weird stuff, and it needs some sodium carbonate. It needs some other things. Here, this is the sodium carbonate coming out. It also has some alumina that is cycled. It's just generally pretty damn advanced. However, it does actually, for some of it, it provides a bit of a surplus, and you can actually make it work. This works really well, and it produces almost 2 full belts. It's actually 72 per second when it's running. And that gets us out here. Give us some, this one should not be 2, this should be 4, just for reference. That gives us some ingots, chrome ingots. The chrome ingots are pretty simple. It just goes in here and becomes part of the, goes to 50. So that's the how to make chrome. It is a hugely complex process. The one more thing I want to show is the process to make the, because I want to go, the most advanced part are these ones, the modules. But the modules also require some gems. Where is it actually? Oh, also for the alien science. They're needed for a lot of the advanced components. So here we have lithium. No, what is it called? I take the thermal water in that we produce somewhere else. Can't even recall where. Oh yeah, this is really advanced. This thermal water goes in here, is produced from lithium chloride, goes in to this one. The thermal water plus ammonia comes out with what is it? Calcium carbonate. The calcium carbonate is going in here, I guess. Calcium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid goes out, and then we finally get some alien bacteria through a lot of air filtering. Get alien bacteria goes in and comes out as alien pre-artifact. The alien pre-artifact can then be combined with a lot of gems, hence the gems is a bit of an issue, into making here. So this is a huge complicated process. It also gives us some alien science, but also gives us some alien blobs here that we can then use for various components, such as awesome power armor and various other things, such as these energy shields at various quantities, the fusion reactors. All those are needed for the science packs. What is that one? Oh, that's interesting. Some middle calculation. So now I'll just the last thing I want to show is how I manage all the barrels. Yes, I have a few barrels in this network. I have about 300,000 barrels in this network. In total, I have produced, or I have in the network, 1.2 million barrels running around. This one is actually, at this point, you can see it jamming. It is now jamming, and it'll stop requesting, so the other one will request. I have enough barrels here. I might have a bit too much, but this is because the base is active. Once the base goes idle, this gets emptied. Pretty much all of it. But the way I'm managing it, I have a station here. This station, you can see it has provider only when it's more than 1 million. That means never. It requests when it's more than 2,000. That means take loads of 2,000 in. And then the next icon is an indicator, is a LGN stop with an indicator 1. The 1 means that that this is part of logistics train network 1. And if I look at the other one, it's part of logistics train network 2. If I look at any of the other ones, like this one, it doesn't say it doesn't say which network it's part of, so it's part of all of the networks. So this, for example, this one is part of network 1 and 2, but these are not part of the same network. This is the way that it prevents it going from the outbound back into the inbound, because that's what usually happens. And it's extremely simple to take it. You can just make them part of different networks, and then they will never request from each other. Pretty cool, huh? That's the last part. So all in all, the whole thing comes together to make a lot of materials. Everything is pretty much running at this time. Stereotype crystals is one of the items that we found lately that is actually in high demand. It actually was jammed for a bit, so it didn't keep up. I'll now go to our rocket launch to illustrate what the rocket launch looks like. There are tons of different things, and you can just glimpse out here on the side that stuff is going on everywhere. Oh yeah, one good advice for anyone who wants to do a C-block series: build something like this. This is a facility that out of thin air, basically mud water and water, can produce sulfuric acid. You're always going to be short on sulfuric acid, but this here produces, I can't remember how much it is. It's not a lot, but you can see here how much it is producing. Each one of these is 50. So it's not nothing, but it's something. And I can just replicate this. It runs smoothly. It's awesome and all that cool stuff. And if you do not have modules to put in these cleansers, then just make it bigger. You could actually fit in it, but I like the symmetry of this. But this produces sulfuric acid out of nothing. And that's something you need. Anyway, let's move on to our location. This is here. This is our rocket launch. The reason why we do not have the rocket launch is actually... Really? Did I do that wrong again? And nothing in the inventory. Why are you not getting anything? Oh, that's because I actually removed this one at some point. Should be easy to get it up and running. Oop. That was just my easy way to make sure that it didn't launch rockets. Because I had a priority not to just launch rockets. And this is also launched. Great. And that's now ready for the next one. And as soon as this one launches, it will go, and you can see how fast this actually goes. Of course I could make it faster, but I have no need for making it faster. It is now launched. I could just add more beacons, and I kind of have, but the speed is pretty good. I don't need it to be faster because I can't support it any faster anyway. But at this point, yeah, it's running. It actually could be almost a problem that it cannot get rid of it fast enough, but that's not really a big deal. So you can see it just goes up, and we'll just watch another couple of launches, and then we'll be wrapping up. So the entire base is fully operational. Sometimes some things are getting stuck. The trains is also kind of slowing things down once in a while. And especially once I start launching rockets, it will slow down. But this is also not really a problem. You can see here all the space science is completed. It's not really a problem that it's not working. I don't need everything to be working all the time. I'm also producing over here. This is consuming a stupid amount of materials. My production of the higher modules, the modules Mark III, they are really expensive and has a big location here just dedicated to building that. There we go. More rockets more rockets launched, not more rocket launch. So hope you have enjoyed this playthrough. Be sure to check out the Google Map review that I'll be making available, hopefully at the same time as this goes up. And that you'll be checking out my other series, because I continue to stream on Mondays and Fridays, more Factorio. I'm building a nice, beautiful angel space as well, a new one. So be sure to check that out, also other content on my base. So if you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe, and also share it. That helps a lot with the awareness about what I have been doing, and I'm kind of proud of this, to be honest. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in another video somewhere.